permanent representative of the Russian Federation has asked for the floor to make a further statement. I give him the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief. And taking stock of the latest comment from my American colleague as an admittance, we didn't hear a response to the question that we put to him, but I would like to put a rhetorical question to him, which I don't require an answer to because it's a rhetorical question and the answer is obvious anyway. How many times during the present crisis has the United States initiated a meeting on the humanitarian situation in Gaza? Thank you.
I thank the permanent representative of the Russian Federation for his statement. I now give the floor to the permanent observer of the Observer State of Palestine.
Mr. President, I want to begin by welcoming you to this chamber and to leading the deliberation of this emergency meeting requested by our colleagues from the United Arab Emirates and China, which we appreciate. The fact that you are with us for the third time during this month is an illustration of the commitment of Brazil at the level of the foreign minister, and I am sure with the urgency from President Lula to do everything that you can in order to bring about the end of this carnage and the tragedy that the Palestinian people are going through, particularly in the Gaza Strip. We, the Palestinian people and the state of Palestine, and our people everywhere, particularly in the Gaza Strip, and our leadership, do really appreciate this commitment, this effort that Brazil is doing. And I am personally delighted to see you for the third time because I consider you as a good friend from the time when we worked together as permanent representatives of our states. I want also to thank the three briefers, Commissioner General Lazzarini, Executive Director Ms. Russell, and Director Ms. Doughton, for their briefings and for their moving calls. And it is coming from people who are in the field, leading teams in the field trying to save lives of the Palestinian people. We don't only express our gratitude and appreciation for what they do, and also receive with them accepting condolences for those who have lost their lives and paid the ultimate price for trying to save the life of the Palestinian people. They are the best faces of the United Nations. They are the best among us, led by a hero by the name of Guterres, who stood outside the Rafah crossing and made his brave humanitarian call: have a peaceful ceasefire, allow humanitarian convoys to reach everywhere in the Gaza Strip to save lives, to put an end to this war, and to save hospitals, to save every institution that is providing life for our people. Those are the best faces of the United Nations. And if they are in fact the best faces, which we truly believe and we express our gratitude to them, I believe we have to listen to everything that they have said and to listen to their important call and requests. humanitarian ceasefire and humanitarian convoys up to scale, as the Secretary General requested, of a minimum of 100 truckloads every day. If we genuinely respect their cause and what they are doing, let us not only listen closely to them, but to implement their request. And with that spirit, allow me, Mr. President, to deliver my statement. Mr. President, Dag Hammarskjöld said, and I quote, "The United Nations was not created in order to bring us to heaven, but to save us from hell." End of quotation. Gaza is now hell on earth. You've heard that not from me, you've heard it from Lazzarini and many others. Gaza is now hell on earth. Saving humanity from hell today means for the United Nations to save Palestinians in Gaza. The 2.3 million Palestinians living there are enduring suffering that no human beings should endure. They are besieged and bombed with nowhere safe to go. Again, you heard Lazzarini. He said there is no safe place in the Gaza Strip. Half the homes in Gaza have been destroyed or damaged. Gaza population is comprised of 70% of refugees. Over 1.4 million Palestinians have been forcibly displaced from their homes. Again, Mr. Lazzarini. Now, virtually all of our people in Gaza are homeless, displaced, moving from one family home to another, from a hospital to a church, from a mosque to an UNRWA school, sleeping in their cars, sleeping in the streets, and still being killed wherever they go, to convince them they will not be safe anywhere in Gaza. A leaked document prepared by the Israeli Intelligence Ministry confirms that, in fact, relocating Palestinians from Gaza to tent cities in Sinai is not a threat we imagined, but a reality Israel is trying to impose. They want to depopulate the Gaza Strip completely from the entire population and throw them in the lap of Egypt in the Sinai Desert. Over 8,000 Palestinians have been killed, including over 3,000 in the south of Gaza, where Israel has forcibly transferred hundreds of thousands of people. These staggering figures keep rising with every minute that action is delayed to stop the onslaught against our people. One figure more than any other explains the magnitude of this man-made tragedy. 3,500 Palestinian children have been killed by Israel in just 3 weeks, more than the annual number of children killed across the world's conflict zones since 2019, according to Save the Children, as my sister, the minister from United Arab Emirates, Her Excellency Lana, has alluded to. Let me repeat, 3,500 Palestinian children have been killed by Israel in just 3 weeks, more than the annual number of children killed across the world's conflict zones combined since 2019. Every 5 minutes, a Palestinian child is killed. How many more days will you wait to say enough? How many more days will you wait to say enough? Paralyzed, not acting, not carrying out your duty, to maintain international peace and security and to stop that war as a derivative of that. To recognize this is a war against our children. How long will it take you to recognize that thousands of children being killed before your own eyes and you're still paralyzed? Our children who are like yours, children of God, children of light, the angels on earth. Enough darkness, enough death. Save lives of our children and all children and the children of others. Mr. President, the General Assembly representing the countries of the world adopted a resolution grounded in humanity, morality, legality, and the rejection of double standards and of any justification for the killing of innocent civilians, the siege against them, their captivity, and their forced transfer. It took a stand that we will not forsake humanity. We will not forfeit international law. The General Assembly acted. The Secretary General acted. The army of his humanitarian agencies and the heroes leading them and those who are working in implementing that message acted. And there is one important body still not acting. It is you. The General Assembly called for an immediate, durable, and sustained humanitarian truce. This must happen immediately. It stressed that humanitarian aid and access cannot be further delayed or obstructed and must be at levels that correspond to the immense needs created by this inhumane Israeli siege and the indiscriminate attacks it is perpetrating as we speak. Thousands more lives hang in the balance. This resolution, moral one, powerful one, in which 11 of you, members of the Security Council, voted for. 3 of you abstained. 1 voted no. This resolution must be immediately and fully implemented. If you were able to vote in the General Assembly, what is stopping you from voting here? The 11 who voted yes, the 3 who abstained, among them 4 permanent members voted yes and 1 abstention. Do what the bigger body is doing. Rise up to your responsibility and what you should do instead of dragging the paralysis, I don't know for how long, while thousands of Palestinian innocent civilians, including children, being slaughtered. The Security Council must take example of the General Assembly and its wisdom and uphold its responsibilities to put an end to this bloodshed, which constitute an affront to humanity, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, and a clear and imminent danger for regional and international peace and security. I want to thank the Arab group, led by my brother, Ambassador Mahmoud of Jordan, who has demonstrated an outstanding leadership in leading our group during this very difficult month. And we salute him, and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and its foreign minister who was with us participating in what we've accomplished together with all of you, with many of you in the General Assembly. And the OIC member states for their relentless mobilization, the countries of the Global South for their support as well, as all the countries which engaged constructively and responsibly to allow us to adopt a substantive humanitarian resolution with overwhelming support from across the globe. 121 countries versus 14. Given that 11 members of this council have voted in favor of the resolution, that 3 abstained and 1 voted against, it is clear that the text enjoys broad support and must serve as basis for a clear and unequivocal position of the Council at this critical juncture. Mr. President, 2.3 million Palestinians in Gaza face death every day and every night. Save them. Save them. Look at them as human beings. You cannot look only at one side and ignore this tragic humanity completely. Wake up from revenge. Look at us as human beings. Save them. We have 2,000 people under the rubble. Allow us to find them. Save those who still can be saved, and bury in a dignified manner those who have perished. Allow the 20,000 wounded to be properly treated. Allow doctors to fix broken bodies, and God to heal wounded souls. Allow humanitarian workers, the brave ones, the heroes, to perform their life-saving duties, even as they mourn their colleagues. 64 alone among UNRWA as staff killed in Israeli attacks. Allow them to conduct their sacred mission in safety and not under the bombs. Allow hospitals to resume their work to save lives and not be transformed into morgues. Allow members of the same families who have survived to embrace each other and to mourn their loved ones who did not. Allow us to pay the tribute owed to the families wiped off the face of this earth and whose names join the long list of bereaved families etched in our collective memory. Allow people who will have homes standing to go home, and allow millions of people to start thinking once more about how to rebuild their lives despite the depths of the death, devastation, and destruction they endured, despite the indelible traumas. Treat us as human beings with the respect we deserve. We are not subhuman beings. We are not from another planet. We are exactly like each and every one of you. We are humans, human beings. Treat us in this manner with respect we deserve. Show respect for our inherent dignity, not in words, but in deeds, in action, in doing something to stop this crime against our people and our children and our women and our wounded and our sick. No one should justify our killing or find reasons to give more time to the killer. Call for an end of this assault on an entire nation. Stop the killings in the West Bank by settlers and occupation forces and the forced displacement underway there. Palestinians, as human beings, have rights that must be upheld, and they are entitled to protection. and we are entitled to be defended. Many of you talk about one narrative, about one state to defend itself. When our children are being killed, do we have the right to defend them? Do we have the right to defend our families? Do we have the right to defend our schools? Do we have the right to defend our mosques? Do we have the right to defend our churches? Do we have the right to defend our homes and our soil and our nation? Do we have rights? Or rights only the monopoly of one side? Our people have, as a people, rights that have long been denied and must now be recognized so we can all live in peace and security. No assault or war will ever end this conflict or resolve this injustice. It will only deepen and widen it. We have said time and time again, there is no military solution to this conflict. We are yet to demonstrate there is a peaceful one. And I listen to you all the time. And you tell me about the two-state solution. And you repeat it. And you repeat it. And you repeat it. But you don't tell me what single step you are willing to take in order to stop the other side from destroying the two-state solution before your eyes. Isn't it enough to wake up and say the resolution that you adopted that calls for the implementation of the two-state solution show resolve to implement these resolutions? You are the Security Council. Are you continuing to be paralyzed, or you want to act on the advice you're giving me? You're giving the Palestinian people. Two-state solution, we accepted. Implement it. Who is stopping you from implementing it? Who is stopping you from taking steps in order to push the occupation to an end, to allow for the independence of the state of Palestine? Who is stopping you? Don't keep repeating to me, two-state solution. Tell me how you are going to defend it and how you are going to implement it, so that can our people believe you and have faith in what you are saying and respect what you call for when they see you marching toward the implementation. And whoever is standing on the path of the implementation of your will should be removed from the way so that we can see the implementation of the two-state solution based on your resolutions, based on international law, based on the terms of reference. You agreed to all these things, but you're not acting. You keep repeating them, and you think by repeating them, you did your duty. No, you have to do more. You have to take the practical steps for allowing the two-state solution to become a reality. We have said time and time again, I repeat, there is no military solution to this conflict. We are yet to demonstrate there is a peaceful one. Prove us wrong. Every minute counts. Every minute is the difference between life and death for Palestinians in Gaza. And I thank you very much, Mr. President, and I hope that there is a short period of time till the end of this, your presidency. But if by any miracle that you can have a position from the Security Council to stop this war and to allow the hundreds of trucks with humanitarian assistance to enter the Gaza Strip, we will tip our hat to you and to the Security Council members. And I thank you very much, Mr. President.
I thank the permanent observer of the Observer State of Palestine for his statement. And I now give the floor to the representative of the State of Israel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished council members, my grandfather, Chaim, was a farmer. He lived in a small village in Transylvania with his wife Bracha and their 8 beautiful children. But in the spring of 1944, the small village ceased to exist. Their community was erased. The Nazis forced Chaim, Bracha, and their children, 8 children, onto cattle cars hurtling towards Auschwitz.